Moneypenny, is 007 back from that African job?
He's on his last leg, sir.
Usually, among the only familiar faces you will see in a Bond film are the MI6 regulars, often showing up briefly, explaining Bond's mission, providing him with gadgets, and in the case of Moneypenny, some routine flirting, before 007 is off on his adventure. Over the years, several actors portrayed these parts and were DM and Qs and Moneypennies for generations of fans. Of course, there were more familiar MI6 faces, like Charles Robinson being a likable regular in 3 of Brosnan's. Simple, they're all allies to Bond, so I just look at the simple factors of how these characters resonated and how likable they were as a character. Starting with the honorable mention, which I just couldn't help but give to 2 characters this time around. First off is Caroline Bliss as the Moneypenny of the Dalton era, who in my opinion always portrayed sort of a forgotten Moneypenny.
Check the replay. You'll find he's dead and she's only got a flesh wound.
There's always an excuse, isn't there, 000?
John Cleese got the star in only 2 Bond films, and I like that he was brought on as a replacement for Q and not as the same character, because the filmmakers were perfectly aware that they would never be able to replace Desmond Llewellyn. And indeed, Cleese brings on his signature comedy style, offering a different approach to the quartermaster than Desmond did. My favorite scenes of him are definitely in Die Another Day, where he is now officially promoted from R to Q and has some fantastic banter with Bond.
Why don't you acquaint yourself with the manuals? You'll be able to shoot through that in a couple of hours.
Just took a few seconds, Q.
Wish I could make you vanish.
Words. Cleese was probably brought on to be the new Q for a long period, but even if he was only seen twice, he was a very memorable character. Maybe the biggest shocker in this list, but yes, I am a huge fan of Naomi Harris's modernized version of Moneypenny. The only Moneypenny where the backstory is actually shown, again, and here it is again, in Skyfall. Believe it or not, I somehow never got any of the rumors spoiled to me that she was going to be the new Moneypenny before seeing her reveal in cinema, turning out to be more than just Field Agent Eve. Desmond was always there as the lovable uncle type, always making for the amusing scenes.
Do please try and return some of this equipment in pristine order. Don't touch that! It's my lunch.
And where his character started out as nothing more than Boothroyd, the equipment officer providing Bond with his gadgets, it was director Guy Hamilton with Goldfinger that provided him with his personality of not being a particular fan of Bond because he destroys his equipment. Throughout the years, you can see his respect and love for Bond grow, with License to Kill being his highlight where he got to do a lot more in the field. I've never ever met a Bond fan who wasn't a fan of Desmond Llewellyn. And the scene that turned out to be his goodbye in The World Is Not Enough, just before he died in a tragic car accident, simply seemed to be meant to be.
First, never let them see you bleed.
And the second?
Always have an escape plan.